Hello, I am Unstoppable Tracy of the Today Show in Halton with Kojiko, celebrating the Disability Channel. Some of you also know me as host of Unstoppable You on Roku. I am so excited today because we have Detroit in the house. We have hosts of the Today Show Detroit, Cynthia, who is also an extraordinary actress, and Zach Damon, which is also magnificent. So they're the hosts of the Today Show Detroit going forward. And Cynthia is also part of the Today Show Toronto. And after the break, after our commercial break, we also have guest Cameron Wells, who is Canada nominee, Disability Hall of Fame, upcoming. And nominees are to be announced on who the awardees are in June. So Cameron's going to be joining us, and right now during the pandemic, he is living in Halifax, but he has ties to Hamilton with his sister and some of his presentations in a local Halton region facility that we're going to learn more about. So be excited, stay tuned. Right after this break, joining me is actress Cynthia and Zach, hosts of the Today Show Detroit. Tuning out for now. Bye for now. Unstoppable Tracy. Be back right after these messages.
Are you currently on ODSP? If you're interested in social media marketing, TV production, podcasting, or getting off assistance, please contact Jay Stoyan at 647-339-6847 or Jay at thedisabilitychannel.ca. The Disability Channel, showcasing abilities.
Hi, my name is Julia Romaldi. Please come join us on the Disability Channel. Please stay tuned. We have amazing guests.
Hello. I am Unstoppable Tracy. Joining me in the house today is Cynthia Stone, actress Cynthia Stone, and Zach Damon. Both of them are co-hosts of the Today Show Detroit. So today we're all about the Today Show in the house, Halton joining Detroit right across the border. I know that Detroit is Ann Arbor, which is right across from Windsor, Canada. So you've got an extra special tie to us here in Canada. So welcome, Zach and Cynthia.
Thank you so much for having us, and it's definitely a pleasure. The Today Show Detroit is proud to be a part of the Disability Channel, and Cynthia Stone, I couldn't ask for a better co-host. So thank you so much.
Oh my goodness! So yeah, right. Cynthia, how long have you and Zach been working together?
Well, that is a great question. Zach, I am going to throw this over to you because he is the phenomenal calculations guy. I just know that I'm enjoying the ride. I feel like we've known each other a lifetime.
Aw.
We did. We got paired up professionally about a few months ago, and then we've just kind of been riding the wave ever since, and it's just been a phenomenal project. And yeah, exactly right, riding the wave.
And the three of us either side of you.
Yeah, it's been phenomenal.
The Disability Channel is so excited to be branching out into the USA. We have the Today Show Milwaukee, and now the Today Show Detroit. So for you guys, what's one of your celebrated guests or stories that gets you excited that people should find the YouTube channel and check out a rerun for?
Go ahead, Cynthia, and then I'll answer after you.
Absolutely. We just had a phenomenal guest, and he was such an inspiration. I mean, we have so many amazing guests. But this gentleman, actually, he had an injury, but that he didn't allow that to stop him. And so he actually catapulted new levels of success. He has his own organization. He is such a Drew. He's so awesome. And you guys got to check it out. It was our last show. he was so phenomenal that I just was so fired up listening to him. And that's what I love about this channel is that we are able to meet so many inspirational movers and fakers that defy all, obstacles, that don't allow labels. Labels? We don't believe in labels. Hello? We are our own people. And that's what it's all about. Celebrating diversity and celebrating success. And it's just truly so inspiring. I mean, you got to check out Drew. You got to check out all the episodes, really. I mean, Zach himself is inspirational. Unstoppable You, hello, amazing. So I think, there's always something in every single episode.
No, I love it. How about you, Zach?
Yes, wonderful. Wonderful. The Drew crew, Drew Clayton, as Cynthia said, such an amazing inspirational story with everything he's doing, with his organization and Detroit Disability Power in the Motor City. We talked to their community organizer, Rami Rodriguez. He's just doing a wonderful job. So very, very exciting show. And I piggyback off of what my co-host said, check out, the amazing episodes and, follow us and make sure that you follow the Disability Channel on all social media platforms, whether that's Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, and keep in touch.
Woo! Right? And I mean, whether we live in Halton or Detroit or anywhere in the world, who doesn't love a good kick in the pants to be motivated internally and turn it into like thriving action results? I mean, it really is a go-getter world. And when there's a lot of depressing things out there, it is so great to tune in and feel picked up and ready to either take on your garden or go out there and do 100 cold calls with businesses or just, thrive with family at dinner, whatever is going on in your life.
Well, Tracy, you touched on an amazing point about positive media and how important that is. And I want to point out the great things that the Disability Channel offers is that outlet. They are that positive media outlet. And then, you talk about the amazing employment programs that they facilitate for veterans and people with disabilities. It is just phenomenal what they do. And of course, both of you, you, Tracy, with your wonderful work out there in the community doing positive, great things. And then, of course, Cynthia Stone and the Relation Shifter, making sure that people do what they need to do to have quality relationships. It's just amazing.
You got the two of us like wiggling away with excitement. You're winding us up and getting us motivated just listening to you. You're holding your own between these two strong females out there. It's great. It's so great.
Oh my God.
So Zach, how did you get into this?
Yeah, so, I started in media actually when I was quite young. I started public speaking when I was very young at the tender age of 6 years old. And then, I was very fortunate to start, my career in public speaking very early. And then I'm actually an actor as well. So I acted in theater for about 15 years, just locally and statewide and things like that. And then I'm also a voice actor for radio. So I can be heard up north there at Virgin Radio Canada doing a lot of great stuff. And, very grateful for that. And then, came across, Jay and the Disability Channel, our founder, Jay Stoyan, doing wonderful work. And when I heard of his mission and his passion and what he was doing with the city of Toronto, Mohawk College and the great things that they have building, I just had to be a part of it. And of course, again, then when I found out about the amazing, talented Cynthia Stone and the great things that she's done in her career as far as being a great entertainer, a great motivator, and also a great talented actress, it was just a great match.
So, and I want to pop over to Cynthia, but how come at 6 years old, over all the 6 years old people on the planet, you were the one that they invited to speak? What was the catalyst that launched you into speaking?
Yeah, that's a great question. So I would say the big catalyst that invited me to speak was that, I just had a very good knack for it. I read a lot when my parents understood how important education and resources were. And so I think because of that, I developed a very good skill of being able to communicate well. And, communication is great, but you also have to back that up with action as well. And so I think, both of those things, being taught that communication is important and being open and kind no matter what the view, but also being proactive and being able to take action towards those actions and those thoughts. So yeah, very, very excited. They discovered that early on, that I had a knack for speaking, and I was excited to do a lot of public speaking engagements when I was younger.
Amazing. And I want to hear Cynthia, the actress's backstory. And we got to do those commercial breaks no matter what. Cynthia, do you want to say anything in response to Zach's self-reflection before we tune in after the break to hear about your kind of timeline background to today and coming up?
Well, I would definitely like to say that Zach is truly somebody that has captured the attention of so many. He is captivating. I mean, we can see it now just on this forum right now. And that's it. It's sometimes we have this spark and we don't even recognize what we are. People around us see it. And that's what it's all about here. It's all about showcasing our abilities. It's all about celebrating our successes and just being that voice for the voiceless, being able to have that, raison d'etre. For the French speakers out there, that means that reason for living. Oh, there, I'm throwing in some Canarican. Oh, my goodness. But yes, absolutely, guys. I mean, Zach is a force, and you will be able to see more of him coming up. But I know we got to shoot it over to commercial break, so I will stay tuned for more.
Woo! So you've got a small appetite for the energy and the enthusiasm happening with us trio. I've got Cynthia Stone returning right after the break with her story as an infamous actress. And we've heard a little bit about Zach and might hear more as an actor and voiceover. And all three of us are hosts of the Today Show. I'm host of the Today Show, Halton. Thanks for tuning in. Stay tuned on this break while we return right after these messages with Detroit Today Show. See you very soon. Yes, I like that. Let's all wave them to commercial. Woo!
Hi, this is Dave Stevens for the Disability Channel.
An inability to break out. I'm sitting by the door on the second floor, losing my 7-year war. It's not an illusion, so why the exclusion?
Yeah, it doesn't matter. It's about you. So,
You say you're a disability dynamo.
Joining me, and welcome to this beautiful Travelers Championship.
I only want one accolade from you.
So my story is unique, it's amazing, but it's not anything that you guys don't have inside of you. I'm not a hero, I'm not anybody special, I'm just this guy without legs that went out, and I just did it.
Stats outweigh the Democrats, the diplomats, and the bureaucrats.
This is probably your first interview down on the ground on your butt and stuff like
First
that?
time ever,
All
baby.
right.
Eliminate, invalidate, invalidate, invalidate.
Stay with us and the Disability Channel.
Welcome back from the commercial break. We today on the Today Show in Halton Region have guests of the Today Show Detroit, and after the next break, we have Canada Hall of Fame nominee for 2021, Cameron Wells, after the next break. But I am over the moon, a little bit starstruck, because we have actor and voice actor Zach Damon, and we have Cynthia Stone, actress, who's actually got some new things coming up and has a bit of a story that led her to where she is today. Cynthia, can I put you on the spot? Can you share a little bit about your life journey to where we are today?
I sure can. On the spot. I love it. Yes. So let's see. Where did the little Cynthia begin? How did she go from the Stone to now Rock City? All right, here we go. So what happened, I didn't realize as a child, I always thought there was something different about me, and I would pick up on people's feelings. Like I would feel things so deeply and I'd be crying and I wouldn't know why. And, I realized later that that's what they call an empath. And so I was like, interesting. And that led me to want to help people, to serve people, to really use this heart for humanity, for that greater good. And so I ended up, working on the streets with the homeless because I wanted to go to the population that was shunned the most. I felt that, these are people that are discarded by society, and why? They are people first and foremost, just like us, and they deserve our respect and love, just as anyone else does. And for over a decade, right? And so for over a decade, I served them and served them and served them. And I realized that I was bleeding dry. Like I just was giving so much. And a lot of them, it was too much. They were like, I can't handle this. I'm not able to receive your love. That they felt they were unworthy of love. And so that hurt my heart. And I put it up to a higher power. And for whatever reason, I heard the next day after serving them for over a decade, why are you here with us? You should be in Hollywood. And I'm like, what? Why are the homeless people telling me I should be in Hollywood? That's so random. And I was like, okay, this must be like a fluke or whatever. But then I noticed that I kept hearing this message. I'm like, what is happening? And then I was looking at my life, and even when I went to like Third World Guyana to do humanitarian relief and post-Hurricane Katrina and all these different places, I kept having the video camera follow me. They'd be like, putting me on TV, what are you doing here? Okay, you're going to be teaching literacy. Here we go. And I was like, wow, I guess there's something here. And so it's all about the art of surrender. I surrendered, and I recognized that, there's something, that I didn't see that was here. And I ended up following up on an infomercial ad. I think it was on Kijiji for you American viewers out there. That's like Craigslist, that kind of like, So I ended up going in there and I got the part. Like I was shocked. I was like, what the heck? And they were like, yeah, how long have you been acting? You're so great. And I'm like, what? I haven't. No.
No, don't confess, listeners.
I know, right? I had no idea. And I was like, thank you. And next thing I knew, it was broadcast all over US and Canada. And I was just like, wow, this is amazing. But I loved it. And I ended up pursuing it. And just it ended up leading me to Hollywood. I went to the Emmys. I had these great, award nominations and all these great things. And I was just flabbergasted. I never thought it would happen, and when I came back and I was telling my story, because people are like, how did you go to Hollywood? What's going on? I thought you were a social worker, and then I was telling them my story. They're like, you gotta go speak. So I was like, what, I'm speaking now? So I was entered into a contest, and next thing I knew, I was winning awards for speaking, and then I was commissioned to write a book, and then that ended up becoming a bestseller. So I recognized that I had a message, and a lot of what I carry in me are the stories of the people that I've served, and just wanting to pay homage to them and to really bring their stories to light. And that's what I love about the Disability Channel. That's what drew me today, is that here is a platform where I'm pairing that, on camera kind of work to doing service for others. And that's really where I derive my joy, my bliss.
Well, and such a difference maker in advocacy to millions instead of to one, right? You just dial it up times 10.
Yeah, absolutely. Well said.
So what were some of your
incredible? She's an incredible force. Sorry about that. And she does an amazing job. And I know people can find you at your website, right?
Well, there we go. Yeah, actually, Cynthia360.com. That's right. You can track me down and find me there. It's a one-stop shop for all those websites and URL fun stuff. Absolutely.
Well, and then Tracy, I did some reading up on you. I mean, unstoppable, Tracy. You really are unstoppable. I mean, an amazing story, and an amazing service that you have, with your brand and your website. Tell the viewers, how they can know more about Unstoppable Tracy.
Now, see, what you've got, folks, here is 3 hosts that are really good about celebrating everybody else. This show is all about these 2 extraordinary souls, and he's thrown it back to me, unstoppabletracy.com. But I love that Cynthia 360, not Cynthia Stone 360, Cynthia 360. And then that's not .ca, that's .com. Yeah, .com. .com, where all the .coms, where they all are. So we want to throw back at you, my friend Zach Damon. Do you have a website?
You know, folks, I don't have a website as of yet, but you can see me kind of all over. You know, if you Google Zach Damon, if you Google Ann Arbor Tonight, which is the local late night television show that I produce and host in Ann Arbor, Michigan, which is a neighbor of Detroit. You can check us out. You know, we're on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, all that stuff. And of course, you know, the Disability Channel Detroit as well with Cynthia and I, you know, doing great things. You can check us out there. Our website, our new website will be launching soon. So as soon as that's up, you know, hopefully people will know. But, you know, it takes time to build a good one, right? You got to have the good SEO and all that stuff. So.
Yes. And all of us are, you know, success stories that have had childhood stories and paths we heard and followed. And they went from one little piece to expansion and potentially, and Cynthia and I share with a book and television and just overwhelmed. And then that turns into speaking, which we weren't expecting. And this is like more like Zach's journey with the speaking from childhood older to Ann Arbor. This evening show right across the border from Windsor, Ontario, for all of you in Halton, just a stone's throw away from Halton region, which is so great. But all of that.
Ann Arbor Tonight is so fun. Sorry about that. Go ahead.
No, I love the positive injections. But
yeah,
all
it's,
of that
it's basically Ann Arbor's version of it's basically Ann Arbor's version of the Tonight Show. So it's a lot of fun. It's a variety show. We have stand-up comics, we have bands, we have musicians, we have celebrity interview guests from the amazing University of Michigan, which has a great hockey team, by the way, and football team, great athletic programs. And yeah, it's a lot of fun. So really enjoy it, and you know, just really enjoying the journey.
And so anyone from anywhere in North America can check out those stand-up comics and sports and evening show entertainment. I don't know how about YouTube, but there's plenty already watched on Netflix. So I'm keen to find out some new content with Ann Arbor Night Show.
Absolutely. You can just Google Ann Arbor Tonight with Zach Damon and it should come up. We're on YouTube, but we also are on Comcast here in Michigan. And again, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook as well. So, you know, if you guys follow us, we'll follow you back. And yeah, thank you.
I think all these links will show up on the disabilitychannel.ca for Canada. And you can find all of us and our prospective links on the disabilitychannel.ca. But what's also fun, if you want to follow a journey like the three of us, is be sure to check out the disabilitychannel.ca for accessible media. And so whether you're front of house or back of house with editing, for example, or social media experience, you can get accessible media program that are diploma activities, and there's a job placement and references at the end of it all, certificates of association. So practice, and developing your skills you can get for free through the accessible media right off the Disability Channel, which is so great. And so as we close up, we covered some of where these links are. You're welcome to repeat where your links are, but what's ahead? What is something independent of the Today Show Detroit? They need to find you on YouTube for back shows and watch out for future shows. But what's ahead for you both? I'll start with Cynthia.
Absolutely. I do also want to mention that I have Let's Chat on the Disability Channel, and that's exciting. And that there are more episodes of that coming out, so you can definitely tune in and watch those. It's always fun to have a chat. What else is on the horizon? Actually, Zach percolated me because I remember now. I mean, sometimes we have so many hats. I am also a stand-up comedian, so I think I am feeling the urge to come up with some more material. So that is going to be coming up. I'm also in the process of having another book underway, one that is written on my own, and one is a compilation for the best advice for coaches. So that's exciting. That is coming up. And you can actually purchase the Best Advice for Speakers. That's out right now on Amazon, so that's exciting stuff. We are, oh my goodness, there's a flurry of activity. I have a movie role coming up, and that will be in Africa, so stay tuned for more about that. What else can I say? I feel like I am just so blessed. I have, the opportunity to work with so many amazing souls. The relationship for business, if you ever feel stuck and you want to get unstuck, definitely check that out. That's at that Cynthia360.com link. And I'm always there to provide, wisdom and part advice and just be there to stand there in solidarity with you. Over to you.
Woo! We put Zach
Hey,
on
thank you so much. Go ahead.
And over to Zach.
No, thank you so much. All right. Thank you so much, guys. I appreciate it so much. And yeah, I mean, wonderful, wonderful stuff, Cynthia, that you're doing. I hope people can check out Cynthia360.com, that you can keep them in the loop on the books. And again, the Unstoppable Tracy as well. Please check out her website. Check out her amazing story that she's doing. And make sure you tune into this show, folks, that are locally here in the community, because, Tracy is doing amazing stuff with the Disability Channel today as well. And as far as myself, folks, like I said, you can Google Ann Arbor Tonight with Zach Damon. Check us out on YouTube, check us out on Twitter, check us out on Instagram and Facebook. I believe our tags on Instagram is at Ann Arbor Tonight, no spaces, all lowercase. On Twitter, it's capital A2 and then Tonight, and it's the same for Facebook. And so if you follow us there, we'll follow you back. And then as far as any upcoming things or want to follow me, I'm also on Instagram personally at just Zach Damon, ZACHDAMON, and the number 1. And I have a black t-shirt. Thank you so much, guys. It's just been a pleasure. And I'm looking forward to the Disability Channel Today Detroit continuing to build.
Thank you for joining me today. Zach Damon, Cynthia Stone, actress and actor, speakers extraordinaire, and hosts of Today's Show Detroit. Thank you for listening in, all you fabulous Today Show guests for Halton Region. Please stay tuned. Right after this message, we have Cam Wells joining us, this year's Canada Hall of Fame nominee. He's also a show host and currently tuning in from the East Coast, but he's definitely a Halton Region local whose sister is here in Hamilton. So we'll be right back after these messages. Thank you for joining Zach Damon and Cynthia Stone of the Today Show Detroit.
Would you like to donate to our employment programs? Please follow the link below to donate through PayPal. All proceeds go to our programs.
Hi, my name is Julia Romaldi. Please come join us on the Disability Channel. Please stay tuned. We have amazing guests.
Hello, I am Unstoppable Tracy, host of the Today Show in Halton Region. Before the break, we had the host of the Today Show in Detroit, Zach Damien and Cynthia Stone. And it is now with great pleasure and resounding confidence you are going to be blown away by this year's nominee for the Canada Hall of Fame, Cam Wells. Cam, welcome to the Today Show Halton Region.
Thanks. It's a pleasure to be here. Although resounding endorsement, that might come back to get you later. You know that, right?
I have complete confidence. I'll bet my last limb on it. So maybe inappropriate humor in from one person with a disability to another that might be shocking for our Halton Region listeners on your TV. But I know that they're going to be blown away. And I have deep confidence that you are going to go from nominee to awardee. I'm gonna put some strong words out there for that manifestation power to turn it into reality. But so Cam, can you tell us your connection to the Halton Region?
Well, I've done some work with the mental health organization out there. Used to have them on the show every few months, and since I do disability issues for them, mental health definitely falls in the wheelhouse. And my sister, my brother-in-law, and my niece are the Hamilton area, so tend to make the trip once or twice a year, except this past year for obvious reasons.
Yes. Oh my goodness. And so I've got you here on the Today Show for Halton Region, but we are humbled and honored because you are a show host too. Will you tell our listeners a little bit about your show?
Certainly. My show is called Handy Link, which is actually an homage to the old sci-fi series Quantum Leap, which not everyone gets the reference to, but there was a computer terminal that had all the answers called a hand link that my favorite character used. So,
yes. Oh, boy.
But it's an all-purpose disability issues forum I've been doing since late in 2008, since I got my first diploma, which was journalism. I've subsequently earned 3 more from St. Clair College, and well, then I ran out of money, so they told me not to come back.
They only wanted you. But they loved you so much, they put you in their promo video.
Yes. I was one of the first graduates of a program called CICE, which is sort of a disability work study program where you can specialize in a number of areas. And, well, I personally chose the office admin branch as a lot of opportunities were available. And years later, in a promo video, they asked me, "What's your main area of study?" To which I said, "The girl next to me." Anyway, back to the show. I've very lucky. I've interviewed everyone from former Lieutenant Governor David Onley to the guy from Breaking Bad. And each one has a unique and interesting story to share. Fact is, I realized that disabilities media coverage was always done in extremes. It was either really inspirational or really bitter. There was no middle ground. There was no day-to-day story. So almost to the day I got my diploma, I set myself the task of saying, hey, I know how to do this stuff, and there's a station nearby needs volunteers, so I just got started. Since that time, I've joined a national radio accessibility advisory committee, and I'm the co-author of an accessibility handbook, which was given to campus and community stations throughout the country.
Right, throughout the country, every radio station has this handbook as their accessibility guide for their radio stations.
It's just the ones in our union, but that's well over 100 stations at last count.
Whew, right? 100 stations. What's 1 or 2 golden nuggets from that handbook that will inspire people to want to come find your handbook and reach out?
Well, one of the key things in the first edition, we're working on the second one, by the way, has to do with ableist language. What was acceptable to say 20 years ago is not necessarily acceptable to say today. We have to be understanding that a person with a disability defines their own term. What they're comfortable being called, you go with. Why? Because you don't know their mind, you don't know their story, and maybe they're one of those people who can laugh at a good joke. Maybe they're one of those people who takes themselves way, way seriously. Get to know them before you decide how to identify them. They're a person first, and the condition is just one tiny little part.
Yeah. I have to say, nominating you for the Canada Hall of Fame amongst many that nominated you, that it was all of your show accolades and your college courses that you offer and your consultant reference and your endless, too many to count on 2 regular hands, not my 1-finger hand, but a 10-finger hand, right? That you are continuously presenting and educating at conferences and events as an accessibility advocate. And I just thought that that was a little bit of a journalist path that took you down this road. And it wasn't until your nomination letter that I really learned more about your initial connection to what inspired you to be a bit of a accessibility advocate in your media focus. What kind of got you into this field, I think, as a starter?
Well, what I always say is the perfect example of disabilities in media. Look at a traditional sports page sometime and tell me there's an equal amount of coverage. You can't do it. But when I was growing up, after the stroke I had in the fourth grade, I was very lucky. I had a great support system. I had family, I had friends, I had doctors, and I came to realize not everybody is so blessed. And if the difference between a contributing member of society and someone who just gets bitter and blames the world is just a few words of encouragement, who are we as a society not to offer those few words?
Yeah. And to get it, and then but you're also, on top of being those few words, they're educational words. They're not just you can do it. They're strategic, conversational door width and language recommendations and acknowledgement of microaggressions that people don't even notice are happening in their words. And your guests are not just your friend that you went to camp with that might have had a disability too. You have extraordinary people and some extras. What are some of your most proud guests that you've had, for example, or moments?
Well, upcoming in my third presentation for Canterbury's Elder College, doing a session on culture and disability, which contains probably my proudest interview of all time, which was with a man named Ben Lindquist, who was honored with an honorary PhD from York University. He rarely came to Canada, but on his last visit, he took me through 40 years of the Swedish disabilities movement, from the initial joining of the cause to petitioning for some of the first Braille literature. It was remarkable. I mean, I was so moved when I heard this. He passed on 3 or 4 years ago, but we had a friend in common, so I arranged for his daughter to have a copy of the interview just so she'd always have a piece of it.
Yeah. And I mean, in Sweden, so this is Canada difference, North America making a difference, but far reaching as Sweden, and some of the trend setting. Sweden tends to be ahead in wellness and holism. And I know, like, some of my sailing counterparts, the Swedish athletes with disabilities that sail, are much more supported than we are in some of the other countries that are on that start line, and certainly us in Canada. And so they really get it. So it's funny you talk about the sports page versus, para sport and what kind of awareness is out there. Cam, I have so many questions for you. Do you mind? Can you hold on? I need to take a short break, and we'll return right after these messages to find out more about Cam and his world and some of his neat, extraordinary guests and influences in his life and lives that he's influenced. So I am Unstoppable Tracy with Cam Wells. We are here today on the Today Show, Halton, on your TV with Kojiko, hosted by the Disability Channel. So we'll be back right after these messages.
Are you currently on the Ontario Disability Support Program? If you're interested in social media marketing, TV production, podcasting, and or getting off assistance, contact Jay Stoyan at 647-339-6847 or jay@thedisabilitychannel.ca. The Disability Channel, showcasing abilities.
Hi everyone, I'm Casey. I'm a co-host with Kurt Roscoff on the TDC Today Show, Milwaukee. Make sure you tune in as we showcase amazing guests and talk about amazing topics. Thank you.
Welcome back to the Today Show, Halton region. I am over the moon. I have Cam Wells with me saying hello there with the beautiful breeze with your curtain in the background. Clearly well read with all those books on that bookshelf. You probably, some of them are guests that you've had on your show and in all of your presentations. Thank you, Halton region, for tuning right back with his sister lives in Hamilton region and he supports what's the name of the organization, Halton region?
I believe it was just the branch of the Mental Health Society.
Mental Health Society.
Admittedly, it's been a couple of years since they've been on, but one rule in my work is anyone with a valid story and doing something unique in the disabilities world, they're always welcome.
Always. Yeah. And your world is huge. I put out one sentence when nominating you for the Canada Hall of Fame. I mean, extraordinary, folks. He's a nominee. So there's going to be interviews with him, and you're going to see him in the Global Mail when I believe is announced an awardee. I'm just putting out there that positive vibes in July and August. He'll be right across North America, and you'll see the awardees announced. And I'm just believing it. So it's conceived to happen. But one word about this potential nomination, and dozens came out of the woodworks to write letters. So are some of these people past guests, or like, who are these people that were pouring out into your world?
Well, a lot of them are people who have really been influenced by the work and who themselves have influenced the work. Like Mike Bradley, the mayor of Sarnia, was one of the biggest supporters. I have him on at least once a year to talk about disability employment matters, and an initiative he started province-wide just to get the business community to partner with people with disabilities. But some of the best stories, really, they come from just everyday people. Melissa Miner, for example, she's a frequent guest to my show, used to do music lessons for underprivileged youth in Windsor. She herself has 2 brothers with disabilities, and just the influence she's had on their lives has really spoken to me. She recently got one of them into running, in fact. But really, the support has just been overwhelming and amazing. I mean, yeah, there are some guests, like I've interviewed Henry Winkler, Marley Matlin, guy from the Red Green Show. The truth is, in disability life, we all have that story, that aspect of it that defines us and that we use to define others' lives. So it doesn't have to be the story that's necessarily in the public eye. It's just the story with the most heart.
Yes. And so what would someone like Henry Winkler be doing on your show?
Well, actually, funny story about that. He actually was here in Windsor before I really cemented the work of the show. But the Learning Disabilities Association of Windsor, Essex, who are good friends of mine, they needed someone with a background in writing to do an article and sit down with them for a few minutes. And they were sponsoring this presentation he was giving. So got a photo with him, autographed copy of his book, and possibly the most hilarious interview answer ever. My question to him was, what was your biggest challenge in school? To which he looks at me, he says, everything but lunch. Nice.
I love it. Oh my gosh. And you guys are kindred spirits, because you with your answer, what did I study most? And you're like the girl next to me. And then he's everything but lunch. You guys are 2 peas in a pod.
Really, he's an amazing advocate. I mean, the more people sort of push disability into something relatable, something that we can look at and say, yeah, this person's cool. So what if they have a disability? It doesn't detract from their work. It doesn't detract from the enjoyment of the show or their music. But what I've come
sometimes it doesn't even come up. Like, it isn't the relevance. It's the work that's relevant.
What I've come to understand over the years is everybody has something that makes them unique. I mean, disability is just a term we use to create this sort of separation between us and them. Truth is, it's self-imposed. There's really no distinction. No 2 people look the same way or move or think the same way. And if you start creating what I call the impossible standard, eventually you get a wall nobody gets over. So my best advice, don't start finding reasons to single people out. And inclusion, it's not an afterthought. If you're going to build something, build it accessible. If you're going to reach out to people, reach out to all types of people.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. How do people find you if they want to see some of your, like, ask you for your work for the radio stations, or see some past shows, or turn into your upcoming shows?
Well, there's a few options on that. The National Campus Community Radio Association has a database archiving a lot of my past shows, including one I'm especially proud of. A woman from a group called Blind Beginnings took 9 visually impaired children up Gross Grind in Vancouver, and that was really very telling to me that you could challenge that. Also, cjam.ca has some of my more recent stuff. They're my primary source of broadcasting. And fun fact about CJAM, my dad was one of the original founders of it.
That is a fun fact. Is your dad still with us?
Yes.
Yes.
As a matter of fact, he wrote a summary statement a couple of years back about the origins and the inception of the station, and I got the wonderful task of reciting that onto a CD, so now it's sitting with some commercials.
Because you have this sassy radio voice, deep and nice methodical pacing. It's very radio. No wonder you've got radio show.
The irony is, when I studied journalism, I only got a B in radio.
What?
I'll never put that down.
Too much studying, that girl beside you.
No, it was a different program. After graduating 4 times, they just looked at me the last time and said, "What, you again?"
And that you should be teaching the course. I want you to know, Cam, I'm not sure if you can see it, but in the chat of the platform we're on, we can see comments. And we've got a Kamal Ahmed who says, totally agree. It's easy to add accessibility to virtual platforms these days. So not sure, I'm probably getting the post a moment later than when you mentioned something, but wanted you to know that that comment was out there. Did you want to reflect anything on that?
Absolutely. I mean, a lot of the technology these days really is made to make things as accessible as possible. For my other job, for a disabilities nonprofit, I'm in the process of upgrading the company website, and one of the key points I brought up is there has to be something there just to make it compatible with all text and large print formats. But the thing is, sometimes we get so bogged down in the technological aspects, we overlook the human aspect. I had a story about 2 years ago where a deaf girl studying office administration wanted to do the transcription portion of the course, which is required for all students. Not exactly the most fun part, but we all went through it. But they just arranged a sign language interpreter. It's not a high-tech answer, but it allowed her to do the work, and well, simple as that.
Right? We, often people are, wow, you've got your MBA and you're so smart, and I know you'd be extraordinary with customer service. And I find out later, like, why they didn't hire me. And they're like, oh, but there's lots of typing in the job. So it wasn't really suited for Tracy. And no one had asked at all about my typing speed or my typing capabilities or my typing workarounds. It wasn't a conversation. So sometimes there's a lot of assumptions about what's going to work or what's going to be hard. And in fact, it isn't as hard as we often think, huh?
There are things like Dragon Naturally Speaking that can get around that. But you actually just struck upon something that got me big laughs at a disabilities conference once, and this was one of my most valid points ever, I think. You know those signs that say blind persons crossing?
Yeah.
Ever noticed how not one of them has Braille on it, and they're not within distance anyone could reach?
Yeah.
Put them there for the benefit of the actual person.
Yeah.
Do it in some ways just to make ourselves feel better. Hey, look what we're doing.
Yes. Yeah, and that's what I love about you and your world is it's nothing about us without us. It's somebody who lives in the field. And it's not just because in grade 4, a long time ago, you had a stroke and got some sensitization to a world that you're pretty high functioning in now. And on the low end of being considered a person with a disability, many would say, oh, he's a paper cut in this world.
That's the thing, though. I mean, everyone has their own unique struggles, and it's really not a competition. It's not a matter of saying, I'm worse off than you, I'm better off than you. It's a matter of pooling our talents. We might not be able to do this, but maybe somebody in our circle can, and maybe we can complement each other's abilities.
Yes. And your subject matter expertise comes from immersing yourself with those subject matter experts. So you're not a consultant because you're someone that has a disability, whatever end of the spectrum. You're a consultant because you've been entrenched in the parasport world and the journalistic world. And so you've come to learn more about multiple disabilities. And I want you to know in the comments, Tara Garrity Ellis. And do you know Tara already?
I don't believe I do.
Well, and I'm so glad you're getting introduced right now, because she is also a big accessibility advocate out there and multiple streams. And she's saying exactly to every time you say something. And when you talked about the spectrum and no comparison, Tara wrote boom, BOOM, right? So you're getting a lot of love in the comments out there, and so much love that I'm afraid to pause for a commercial. But would you be so kind? Can you please stay tuned for more of those boom exactly comments that you're sharing with us, and think of some of more funny, enlightening learnings that people have, and your closing thoughts before we say goodbye to everybody on your TV in the Halton region on Cogeco through the Disability Channel with Unstoppable Tracy and Cam Wells. We're going to be right back after these commercials. Please stay tuned.
All about inclusion and really giving everyone a fair say.
Welcome to the Today Show. This is our flagship show. I am Unstoppable Tracy.
I am Zach Damon.
It is a pleasure to be here. I am excited. What is up?
We have a great show today.
Jay Stoyan here for the Disability Channel, the world's only inclusive channel for and by persons with disabilities.
Get ready to be inspired, everyone.
We have people watching from all over the world, but also all over Ontario.
We also take a concerted attention in the veterans community.
In moments of stress and trauma, we can get a hold of ourselves.
To help make a difference for people with disabilities, to show people how to love themselves or their disability.
I appreciate it. I appreciate you guys having me, giving this platform for myself and other people with disabilities.
Thank you so much, folks, for joining us for this episode of the Disability Channel Detroit. Please tune in next time.
Welcome back, Halton. I am so pleased to have Canada Hall of Fame nominee extraordinary Cam Wells with me on the show today. My cheeks are sore from laughing with him. He's so extraordinary and so many funny stories. And the comments are lighting up. For those of you that ended up watching live stream with us on social media, be sure to check out the Disability Channel social media on all platforms. But you, Halton Region, you're watching live on your TV. And any moment now, we need to say goodbye. And I want to make sure that we find out about what's ahead for Cam and any closing thoughts or shout outs so that Cam has some time to share what he'd like before the show ends.
Well, there's a couple of things. First off, I want to say thanks to all the people who wrote in to endorse my nomination for the Hall of Fame. I was frankly overwhelmed by the love and the support. Sometimes, as a disabilities advocate, you tend to think that maybe someone will take notice if it's something name brand, the Paralympics, the Special Olympics, the things we've all heard of. But to know that people can stand together really moved me. Another thing is the greatest lessons in disability life you can learn come just from the everyday. I mean, some of the things I've most learned about people with disabilities have come just by having a meal with them, seeing them stone sober, completely drunk. I even saw one go to an exam somewhat intoxicated, but that's a different story. But just spend time with people, get to know who they are. Everyone wants to put this medical modeling, this medical labeling to disability, which is, it's a fine baseline, it's a starting place, but it never factors in human strength and the potential of someone who's motivated to achieve. But honestly, I think everyone is just sort of a coin toss in that sense. If they have the right tools and the right supports, yeah, they're going to go on, they're going to achieve great things. But conversely, if we decide to be the ones who just aren't there for them, a life might not grow to its full potential. It's not that hard, folks. You can include one person, why can't you include another?
Yeah. I love your matter of fact. Why can't you include another? You've got in the chats, you've got folks saying you're hilarious and all sorts of really appreciative comments. So a shout out to our chatters. And if there's any questions before I close off the show, please feel free to post any questions. But I mean, talk about insightful.
One other quick thing, though, if you don't mind.
Yeah.
I'm doing my next presentation for Canterbury early in June, actually, which is going to be on culture and disability. It's everything from native perspectives on disability matters to para-archery in Dubai, and apparently they've got a really cool setup. So that's something I'm going to be working on. I designed an entire course on this stuff using material from the show, and Tracy is featured within it. Just thought I'd give you a shout out. It's a chapter on disability accomplishments that she fit in really well for.
Well, thank you, and humbled and honored to be included. This is extraordinary, kind of fun. Great minds think alike, and the positive energy gets attracted for sure. And I kind of like the girl next to you today that I hope is part of your continuing future, which is so great. At the joke at the start of the show, I want you to know that people in the comments are saying, how can I write to Cam? Or how can we reach Cam?
You can share my contact information. That's no problem.
Yes, and you share. Is there a website or a general place where it would eventually find you as well for all listeners and viewers? I will share it with these two, but also in general.
Well, I can be found on Facebook pretty easily. In fact, my photo is me turning the dial on the world's biggest radio. Don't ask, that's a story.
What? Come on, we got 1 minute left. Is it a 1 minute story?
I suppose so. Taken at the Ottawa Museum of Science and Technology. They had a 10-foot radio, and I was there that weekend working on the first accessibility handbook with a team of experts, and that's how we chose to spend our break. So when I saw this giant radio, then a colleague of mine, Stefan, says, you ever see the slanted room? I'm like, what's that? So in that same museum, there's this room that slants. So I walk right in, slide right out.
The bum. He probably knew it would totally throw off your balance.
Yeah. Don't worry.
So Facebook is Cameron or Cam? Is it your full name? Cam Wells. All one word.
Yeah. I believe it's Cam Wells 90, if I'm not mistaken.
Okay.
There's a lot of people with my name running around, but y'all can see my charming face, so should be able to.
I love the pose. Strike a pose. I want to say, oh boy, like your favorite show of the past. Many of you that are from our generation might know it, and that was kind of the signature.
You got it.
I got it. Oh boy.
Does this mean I have to leap into somebody now?
Yes. Well, you keep leaping into all these souls on your show so that we get a perspective of their life like they did on that show. One more shout out for the name of your show, Handy Link.
Yes.
Yes.
Handy Link.
Handy Link.
Yeah. If anyone wants to hear an episode, you can just Google it. It's HANDI-LINK. It's easy enough to find. And I'd love to share any of your stories if any of you feel like doing a spot.
Well, and I know for sure we've got Tara that probably would. And I think we're going to learn about who Kamal is out there, one of the chatters for sure that are in the chats. So thank you so much, Cam, for joining us on the Today Show in Halton Region. Your sister and everyone in Halton can watch this on your TV. Kojiko TDC is hosting the Disability Channel. It'll also be on Roku. And people can find Cam Wells 90 on Facebook. But also reach out to me and I'll help you find Cam for sure. And there's lots of yeps on people that want to be on your show. So I think there'll be some follow-up already. Halton, if you need a consultant or interesting advice or a radio show and need a plan of action, Cam is your man. I'm going to say goodbye for now, and I'm going to ask all of Halton Region to put out those positive energy thoughts for Cam winning the Canada Hall of Fame for 2021, and we'll all watch closely in the Global Mail in July and August to see Cam, and we're going to say, I knew him when it gets posted in the newspaper across the country. We'll say goodbye for now. Thank you for tuning in to the Today Show, Halton Region with Unstoppable Tracy, Cam Wells, and for our guests, we had extraordinary TDC Detroit. We had actress Cynthia Stone, and we also had Zach Damon. So bye for now, folks. Thanks for watching TDC Halton. Take care.
Thank you all.